Now you see, Corey, the reason why we didn't upload a video last week is because we didn't come. We didn't predict it the right way. You and me were coming at different times, Corey. What do you think about that?
See, we were supposed to both come nice and slow down the back, but we did. We came on the front. We needed to come on the front, but we came down the back. But we didn't. We missed it. We missed our hole to come in. Right. We didn't get the fresh rubbers like we were supposed to when we were supposed to come. Right.
Yeah, you don't
That's
get
why
that rub. You don't get that rubber. You're gonna be way behind. You're gonna be off sequence. You came in with the Chevys. I came in with the Fords. Two different groups. We were both messing with the wrong groups. We should have
we were.
came together.
We should have came with the Toyotas. That's when we were supposed to come with all them Toyotas and shit. That's when
See,
we're
I
supposed.
when I came, I was surprised because I put my hand out the window to let the whole field know I was coming, and I didn't see you guys. So when I came down pit road from Four Freshies and Sunoco Racing Fuel, I didn't see you guys come behind me. So I was a little confused when you guys didn't come, and so I'm just out there running laps, and I see you guys came when y'all weren't supposed to come, and it kind of threw everything off.
Yeah, we came prematurely. We came about 2-3 laps early than you. You came a little late. What's going on, guys? And welcome back to the Driving in Circles podcast. This is episode 16. We're covering the Dover weekend and as well as the Barber Motorsports IndyCar race and the F1 race at Baku. James, we're going to start off with F1 because I didn't watch it. Corey didn't watch it. It was way too early. Nothing happened. Tell us about it.
That race was absolute garbage. Worst F1 race I've ever watched in my life. I'm gonna stop talking like Funkmaster Flex for 2 seconds, but that race was absolute garbage. I enjoyed nothing about that race. There was no reason for me to get up at 9 o'clock in the morning and watch that race. It was atrocious. My time was wasted, and from my troubles, all I got was to see a couple cameramen almost get run over, and it's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous.
I mean, Sergio Perez won. Thank God Jose's not here, else he'd be playing some mariachi stuff because, God, I am annoyed every time Sergio Perez wins just for the simple fact that, we got to hear Jose talk about it for 7 months afterwards. Max Verstappen second, in an utter embarrassment. Jos Verstappen is going to whip his ass for not winning that race.
That boy
Ferrari
is gonna have to get a switch from the backyard.
Ferrari finally got their freaking first podium of the season. It only took 4 races to get one on the podium. Fernando Alonso ends his podium streak by finishing 4th. And then let's top it all off by looking at Lando Norris and Yuki Tsunoda, both in arguably the worst cars on the grid, finishing 9th and 10th. Wow, Zach Brown really just saved his job, and the team principal AlphaTauri just quit his job. Yeah, and other than that, what else? What else was there to talk about other than the pit lane?
Nick DeVries crashed, and everyone is still gonna call him a bust, even though he's only 4 races into his F1 career.
I mean, let's discuss that pit lane incident because that's what apparently
That's
everybody's
the
talking
only
about.
interesting thing that happened.
So, from what I understand, James, is that Esteban Ocon was trying to run an Alex Albon stint. He was on the hards the entire race, and then he came in on the last lap to pit. My question is, why were those people out there on the track?
I feel as though 99% of the time, no one pits. No one pits on the last lap, so we probably don't see that, and it probably is what happens all the time. So I'm not gonna be like, oh, this is just terrible. This is absolutely horrific. Because 99% of the time, like every other race where someone doesn't do the I'm gonna run the whole race on the hards and then switch at the last second strategy, I feel like it probably does. I feel like it probably does happen all the time. Like the camera people are probably already in Park Fermat at that point. So it's like I'm not gonna judge it because I don't know every single thing that went on behind it. Like it's still bad, but I feel like this was probably protocol for years and years and years before. Like on the last lap, they start getting everything set up so it could
Yeah,
be prepped and ready for Park Fermat.
yeah. Because here's the thing is that I saw this guy on TikTok. He's actually a photographer. He's hired by F1 to do photography, and he was there at that Baku race, and he said that photographers stay. So you know how there was two sides to Parc Ferme, right? There's the one on the, not on the track, and then there's the one parallel to the track, right? All the photographers and all the ones that have been, going to these races before, they all stand inside the pit lane, away from the live track, because they know that they stand in the front of where the cars would be. Uh, from what he said is he doesn't know who those people were. Those might have been unauthorized, or those might have been authorized special guests that actually went to the side because they didn't want to be behind the photographers. So they actually went around to try to get a better view. Little do they know that they didn't know that that's considered a live racetrack. So I think it's just a failure that they didn't give him a little debrief before they opened it up, saying, they gotta like do like a 5 minute talk, like saying, hey, make sure you stay off the racing surface, be on this side of the track, just be like, stay in this side, because they ended up moving off to the side where you're not supposed to stand, and that's where Esteban nearly ran over 7 people.
Yeah, it was a miscalculation by all groups. I say it was even a miscalculation by Alpine because that strategy was absolutely atrocious.
Oh yeah, they didn't even finish in the points in that race.
Esteban Ocon finished a smooth 15th.
Let's see here. Let's say he were to have taken off the 20 something seconds. He still would have finished outside the points.
Yeah, you take off the 20 second. Wait, take off 20 seconds. Then he's set with 77 seconds. He is in the points.
He would have sat in the points.
He would have been ninth.
But then again, I mean, probably there's some sort of strategy where it just didn't look like the right time to box. So they really just pushed until the very last lap. Because,
Yeah,
sometimes,
actual absolute snooze fest. Uh,
yeah, the
no.
sprint was terrible, I heard. The sprint was terrible, other than that one
The sprint
incident
wasn't
between.
bad. The sprint wasn't bad. There was some decent racing, and it ended before it got really boring.
I mean, what do you call it? Alex Albon was said by saying, by only awarding the top 8 in points, you're really awarding only the top 4 teams, which really happened because top 4 teams were the ones that scored all 8 positions, I believe.
Hmm.
So, he was saying that they should, or I heard some stuff about people saying how they could fix this, like doing an inverse qualifying or add just more points,
See, the
or
thing with inverse qualifying, at what point with inverse qualifying are you gonna get guys just trying to get slower so they can start on pole?
yes, because then you're gonna have that chicken game where like Max
Whereas
intentionally
like Max
qualifies
doesn't
bad.
want to go out and no one
But
wants to
James,
set a
I
lap.
think the way they fix that is by taking away the shootout qualifying, and then still making it the qualifying on Friday, the one that does both the sprint and the race on Sunday, but on the
Like
Saturday
that.
on the sprint
So so
race, flip it.
so invert for the sprint race, keep your normal grid for the real race. And so if you decide to hold back for the sprint race, you're also starting in the back for the road. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, because then let's say Max does want to sandbag for the sprint race and start 20th. He'll end up starting 20th in the race.
And he'll
So
start on pole for the sprint race. So it's like the trade off
exactly.
is not worth it.
But for the smaller teams, like a AlphaTauri that's gonna maybe start on pole, or a Williams, that's gonna really it's not really gonna hurt them. And then they're just gonna have great racing because they want to maximize the Saturday race.
It's
So
pretty. Pretty creative, Kyle.
Yeah, it's a collection of what I've heard, throughout this week, and it's really a good solution that plays in everybody's favor. But anyway, that's enough talk about a race that had nothing going on about it. Let's move on to the IndyCar race
Oh,
at
I
Barber
know, Kyle. You're
Motorsports
just
Park.
chomping at a bit to talk about this race.
Oh yes, I'm personally, it was a mixed day. It was a mixed day. It's been a mixed weekend as a Roman Grosjean fan. It was a mixed weekend. It was a mixed weekend. We got pole position
Again.
pretty handily too. We got that pole position, led 3/4 of the race
57 laps to be exact.
out of what, 90.
90.
Just to run out of push to pass with 20 laps to go. James, I don't understand. I can't remember, because the last time I saw him, he was like 83 seconds of push to pass. The next thing you know is zero.
I think Scott McLaughlin, I mean, even at the start, uh, Roman was getting the pressure put on by, I think it was Pillow. At the
Low
very
and
start,
Pato for a little bit.
they were putting the pressure on him. I think that's where he started using his push to pass, and I think that was a big mistake. He was on the button early, and when he needed it most, he was out of it. And I think ultimately, that's why saving gas, that's why saving fuel and saving your push to pass for near the end of the race is so important. Because push to pass isn't like ERS, it's not like extra battery, it's extra horsepower, so it also runs extra gas. So you have to save enough gas for the ERS to for the not the ERS for the push to pass to mean something.
Yeah, because the thing is that also, how McLaughlin was on that alternate strategy, right? They had really bombed qualifying, so they were on that alternate strategy. All those Penske cars were on that alternate three-stop strategy, and he actually came out in front on the last cycle. And I think what happened is that you said it earlier. He was using some of his push to pass, but then he just splurged all of it, trying to make up that gap. I think he ended up coming about 2 seconds behind McLaughlin on the final pit stop, or the second to final pit stop, and he was on that button nearly the entire lap, and then that's where he made that incredible move. He faked him high and went low, um, and he managed to muscle his way by him. I know you saw that, James.
What are you talking about? I had to go deal with my dog.
Roman Grosjean's pass on Scott McLaughlin, the
Oh, that was
Baltimore.
a, how do you say, a nuts on the shoulder move. Absolute, just putting the nuts up on the dash, as Noah Gregson would say. Uh, that's how you get it done. Very risky move. I don't know if I like it that much, but he got by him. He got the move done. Ultimately, didn't stick, but a very great pass by Roman.
I mean, yeah, as a Roman Grosjean fan, you're used to those moves, but you're used to them not working. And my God, my my eyes were closed, looking away when he made that pass, and when I looked up, he was in the lead. But it was really painful to watch him. He used up most of his tires pushing on that stint, early in that stint, and then you saw he had that crucial mistake down in turn 5. Went super wide, left the door open for McLaughlin. Before that, he was playing great defense, but there was no way, especially with McLaughlin with like 40 seconds of push to pass. There was no way. Um, who else? Will Power, the sneaky podium that
Can't
nobody
even
saw
call it
coming.
sneaky. Willpower is just everywhere.
Will Power is, as they say, Mr. Consistency. He started out of the top 10 actually, and as I said, him and Scott McLaughlin and even Joseph Newgarden were running that alternate strategy.
That
They
alternate
really
three
took off.
stop strategy really made up time for a lot of guys. Because if you look back here, Felix Rosenquist wasn't even supposed to run the three stop strategy. He was up there, I think he started P8, P7. He was up
Yeah,
there, gets into an incident lap one, goes all the way to last, switches to the three stop strategy, basically goes from last place to ninth place. I mean, we can talk about the excellent pace from Felix Rosenquist.
I mean, yeah, and let's be honest, James. He could have honestly passed Rossi and Dixon too, but I felt like he was kind of just sitting back, because if I don't know if you saw the last like 20 laps, they were all in that three-car train. Scott Dixon, Alexander Rossi, and Felix Rosenquist. he was really just chilling back there. I think he really wanted to just save his stuff.
You
And
saved the stuff. I mean, you already pushed through the entire field. I feel like you already used up a lot of tire. You used up a lot of the car. Brakes, everything. You feel like you just want to chill out at that point.
yeah, and how about if we're talking about guys with great drives, Christian Lundgaard, absolutely amazing drive from him.
Amazing weekend from Lundgaard.
Especially he made the Firestone Fast Six, top six qualifying was absolutely amazing, and then to come out with a top 10, that's just the cherry on top because that entire organization has been struggling, and for them to get that pace and to get that finish was absolutely beautiful, especially when he made that move on Scott Dixon. That was a great move.
Love to see it. Absolutely love to see it.
Who else? Marcus Armstrong started last, got disqualified from qualifying. James, he finishes 11th, biggest mover, 15 places up. I think he was he? I think he was on that alternate strategy.
He
Really helped him.
was not. He did the two stopper.
He did the two stopper. So wow, he really did that on pure
Pure
pace
pace. On pure
because
pace.
because he wasn't really actually he still had to make a fuel number. A lot of those guys on that two stop strategy had to make a fuel number.
He was assisted a lot by the yellow flag caused by Stingray Rob's car absolutely just disintegrating.
No idea what happened. He just stopped. I couldn't really
You look,
determine
it
what it
says
was.
mechanical. I don't, nothing specific. I can't guess anything. It didn't look like anything was blowing up. You have to think like electrics or something like that.
Joseph Newgarden, another poor finish.
Bit of a
15th.
botch.
15th. He Now he was also on that alternate strategy, and it possibly could have worked. But I don't know if you noticed this, James, but how he was struggling with that right rear suspension. That actually came from when Felix hit him on in lap one,
I did not notice that.
because he had been complaining about suspension problems, and that caused uneven tire wear, and
Mm,
that's why he was just off the pace
that'll do
completely.
it for you. That'll do it for you.
That little tap by Felix caused that right rear suspension to be bent inwards, causing a lot more camber. For that's what I heard from the team radio.
Causing that tire to
hmm
grind on the pavement more. That's good. Good eye, Kyle. Good eye.
Yeah, that's what I heard on the team radio, and Joseph was not happy. He was definitely having a very bad day.
Well, this is another race he's been taking a good finish from because you remember back to first race of the season at St. Pete, he was on for a good finish and the engine exploded and caught fire and had to DNF. But Joseph Newgarden had a very up and down because DNF first race of the season, then comes to second race of the season at Texas, gets a win, third race of the season at Long Beach, has a decent day, not the
Yeah, and
best.
even that race
Almost ran out
apparently
of fuel
was.
at Long Beach.
Yeah, he almost ran out of fuel. That was even a tough race for him, just because he couldn't race anybody. Their strategy was
He
so
just had
off.
to let them all go
He
because
just
he
had to
couldn't
let them
make
all
the
go
fuel
to make
number.
the fuel number. So in his eyes, that's actually a bad weekend for him, and then
Yeah,
bad to worse here. So I mean, hopefully, looking at this short turnaround to the Indy GP, it gets better for Joseph Newgarden.
hopefully. You always want good things
Anyway,
to happen.
I think it's time to move on to Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo Martin Truex sweep weekend here at Dover.
Truex
Dover,
sweep
Delaware,
weekend is
Saturday.
crazy. A bit
I
of a
personally didn't watch the Xfinity race. All I know is Ryan Truex finally got that elusive Xfinity win. Uh, Cory,
Yeah,
do you claim Ryan Truex as one of your guys?
perhaps.
Well, did
perhaps
you
is
watch the
crazy.
Xfinity?
What?
Did you watch the Xfinity race?
I caught the last lap of it, and I was because I was at work actually. So I was at work, and I get home, and I see him coming out of four, and I'm like, "The fuck are we doing?" And I start screeching in the whipski whilst driving.
You know what's sad? Me and Kyle had a nice little run of just not saying any curse words, and Corey talks for 2 seconds.
You know I had to ruin it. We're fine.
Let's
The
James,
The
that's all he's
person
good for.
the person that watches these for manual review is not gonna watch the. You really think they watch it this deep into the podcast? Really?
Hey,
Maybe.
Demarion, shout out to you,
No.
man.
The
We
Marion
see
shout
you.
out to you, man. I know
Yeah,
Shout
shout
we,
out.
out.
we know you're watching. We
He's
know you're
like
We
the
know
watching.
one.
we
We
know you're
He's
appreciate
like
it.
watching.
the one guy that's like,
The
I'm
one,
watching.
the guy,
The guy. Hey, he's our number one fan.
number
All I
one
gotta
fan.
say is tough break for Parker Kligerman. Tough break.
He
Got
started
after
on pole because rain, and then got absolutely hoed by
he got turned.
Corey Haim. Absolute. I won't even say it was. I don't think it was that bad of a move by Corey Haim. Like, of course he got into him, but it wasn't malicious or anything. It wasn't like he wanted to hook him. Just a misjudgment by a guy making what, his second Xfinity start.
Yeah,
Is,
it's really tough
is it a
because
second
I
or his
don't
first?
think
I think he's. I feel like he's made one before.
I
Wait,
don't think he's raced at Dover. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
oh,
I don't think Corey Haim has
Probably not.
raced at Dover.
So first time on the track at Dover, straight into a race. That's got to be a lot for Corey Haim. And we're not gonna. I'm not gonna cut him any excuses. It was still a bad move, but you got to think that wasn't easy for Corey Haim in the slightest.
Yeah, I mean, somebody should have told him before the race, you can't go too wide on exit because naturally the car just washes up towards the wall because of that hard transition. So you being underneath somebody on that on that driver's side rear, that left rear, and you're gonna wash up and you're just gonna take him out. And Dover's a self cleaning racetrack. You're, he's done. As soon as you get turned, you're done. There's
Look
no
at
way to
the
save you.
DW line. Okay, what a self cleaning race. I haven't heard that since good old Daryl Waltrip.
Yeah, man. Because they always be replaying them Dover highlights on Instagram, and I saw that Jimmy Johnson qualifying save. Remember that, man?
Hmm.
That's where he said
I
is
would
that this is
like
a
to put
self
a clip of
thing.
that up, but I feel like NASCAR is gonna get mad at me.
oh, Fox is gonna just destroy
Oh
this.
yeah. Oh
Fox is
man.
gonna raid my house.
They're gonna
Other
take
than that,
all like
I
1 cent
mean,
from our channel. They're gonna take 1 cent of revenue that we would earn.
yo,
The
guys,
ones
Kyle Weatherman at top 15.
I've said this many a times, and I'll say it again. You get this kid in some equipment that can win races, and we got him in our motorsports equipment right now, and that should be a. We had this man racing in the lowest of the. We had this man racing in the lowest of B.J. McLeod equipment, Mike Harmon equipment. We should be ashamed that we are letting Kyle Weatherman suffer through this absolute wheel, man. And you
I
know who should
mean, I
also
mean, he's
you know who should also be ashamed?
who?
Dale Jr. Because time after time after time, he's talked about Kyle Weatherman. He's a great wheelman. We get this kid behind the car, we behind the winning race car. He can go out and he could do it. And he could do it. And guess who owns an Xfinity team? And guess who is not giving Kyle Weatherman a snivel of a shot driving a winning race car? Not even in the 88. And it's ridiculous.
Yeah, man. Kyle Weatherman's kind of
So I
like that
call
Corey
upon you,
Roper.
Dale Jr. I want you to put Kyle Weatherman in that 88, and I want you to watch him go.
Yeah, Kyle Weatherman just waiting for his big break because he's outperformed in every car he's been in, and no, it's really hard to see him not get those
It's hard to see him
big
just waste
breaks.
away in these can't even call it mid pack
Lower
car.
tier
You
Xfinity
can't even call it
drivers.
lower tier equipment because he drags it up. He's in Jesse Awuji. What was it? Alpha Prime. He's overperformed. Kyle Weatherman is an absolute dog.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, I don't see anything really special about the Xfinity race. Yeah, let's move on to Cup. The other Truex, the more known Truex, Martin Truex, breaks his long his second longest winless streak. I should correct myself because we all forget about 2007 to 2013. Um, yeah, Martin Truex Jr. gets it done finally at a track that he's actually pretty good at.
Uh,
Um.
boring race on a Monday as well.
Oh yeah, that is right. It was on a Monday, so
On a Monday, boring race on a Monday. I've said for about a year and a half, I very much dislike Dover Downs International Speedway. Uh, I feel like we should take it off the schedule. Like it has a bit of history, but it's like I don't like Dover.
But the
I
I
think it
trophy,
should
mean,
be like an
James,
Xfinity or
the
an
trophy,
Xfinity
Miles the
exclusive.
Monster Trophy is amazing, but
you
it's
know
like
how I feel about the Mazda
the
Monster.
racing,
Oh,
the racing produced at Dover just hasn't been up to par. See, we could talk about all this old stuff all we want, how the racing was good then, but it just hasn't been good. We even looked to last year's race at Dover; it was not good, man. It's just how long until we just take this track off the schedule and just bring back a Kentucky or bring back a Chicagoland or bring
Boss
back some
man, boss man, boss man.
what?
I'm not going. I've been quiet for too long. I'm not going to let you say Kentucky to replace
I
Dover.
no,
At
no.
least
You can't even
Kentucky.
say that.
At
You
least
can't even say
Dover.
that.
Dover has a cool trophy. What the hell? Aside from 2020, the finish from 2020 and 2019, what has Kentucky produced?
Good racing. A Cole Custer win. A Cole Custer
I
win.
said, other
That's
than
what
that.
Kentucky has to do.
Well, that's not canon because COVID times is just a twilight zone. That's not
A
canon.
Cole Custer win always counts.
When did you start riding for Cole Custer?
See, no, I started riding for Cole Custer when he made a four wide move for the lead on a restart. That's why. Because Kentucky is goaded. And you can't tell me without a shadow of a doubt you was yelling when Kurt Busch made a
I
last
can't,
lap
I
pass
can't, I
on his
can't even
brother.
lie. That Bush on Bush clash at
What?
Kentucky was one of
At
the
night?
greatest.
With the
Other than
atmosphere?
fine. Other than those two, what the fuck else has Kentucky done for society?
It doesn't need anything else.
Let's be honest here. If we give one shot of with Kentucky at with the next gen,
Especially
we'll
with
see.
this new especially with this new car. Especially with this new car. And you know
Uh,
I'm not wrong.
all right, guys. Well, I think we've been avoiding the elephant in the room. It involves a certain Melon Man and a
I
certain
was waiting for y'all gonna give me a curse word limit. Give me a damn curse word limit.
uh
Corey will give you
three,
5.
five,
Five.
five.
Let me collect my thoughts real quick, cause I could say the most vile. You- Five? Really? That's it? Five? We
Yes,
can't. We
yes, because
can't.
we
You
know you're
can't.
gonna go crazy.
Y'all can't throw me a bone here.
We want to
No.
make our 1 cent and leave.
Yes.
You know what? I'll put $20 in the swear jar right now.
20
I'll,
dot no, you get 5. You make do. And
y'all
you
know what?
can't link two together and think we're gonna count it as one.
So my rant had when I start my rant. That's is that when the time
Yes.
starts when I start my.
Yes.
Okay, I haven't started yet, so I can't say shit ass or jizz biscuit. Can I call
Okay, it's
it jizz
already
No,
biscuit?
you can't.
started.
No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't, Kyle. Don't try and do me. Don't try.
We're gonna bleep that out. We're gonna bleep that out.
All
Okay,
right,
Corey. We're
fine.
gonna give you 5 uncensored ones.
Five uncensored ones. Okay,
Yes.
that's it. So only five uncensored ones. All right. Okay, so just pick the uncensored one that's the funniest. Well, to start us off, this fucking moron decided to just drill Brennan Poole for no reason. When it was stage one. It was stage one. It was already bad because Brendan Poole's in the 15th. And I love Brendan Poole. James, you know I liked Brendan Poole. And Nix, you know I like
I
Brendan.
can
I picked
confirm. I
Brendan Poole,
can
bro. I picked
confirm.
Brendan Poole,
Corey was
and
a
I was
big
just want
Brennan
him to
Poole
finish the
fan.
goddamn race.
I'm still not over 2016 Talladega. I would die on the hill that he should have won that race. I would die on that hill. But
Continue,
anywho,
Corey.
what did you? Oh, okay. But yeah, and then not only that, it collects not only my boy Brendan Poole, but it collects my main boy Kyle Larson, Kyle Miata Larson, for no reason. For no reason. He didn't even win the race.
Yeah. What the fuck
I don't know.
was he doing, bro?
Can y'all still hear me good? Can y'all still hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
we
Thank you.
can.
All right. Okay, Jesus, you know what? I'm gonna contain myself. I'm gonna calm down.
You only use one, Corey. Good job.
All right. Well, I had Brendan Poole, and for God's sake, I just wanted him to finish the race, man. He couldn't. He couldn't even do that. Not to any of his fault, but
Thanks to good old Ross Chastain. I can't even
thanks to
say
the
much
good
'cause I
old
like Ross
Kyle
Chastain a
Cadwell
lot.
Cup Series curse. Yeah,
That's
of Brendan
ridiculous that
Poole.
it's still canon. That's actually
That's
ridiculous.
it's crazy that even picking a back marker, somehow the Kyle Cadwell Cup Series curse has managed to strike
That's insane, Kyle.
while
How do
still
you feel?
battling, while still being in a battle for the lead.
That's ridiculous. Actually ridiculous.
Oh man, so Kyle Busch, lock your doors.
Oh no,
Um,
you did pick Kyle. Kyle Busch is gonna die.
oh man, so how could we explain this? That was a terrible move, Ross Chastain. We are back in the cycle, boys. It only took us 8 races to get back into the Ross
Back into
Chastain
the
cycle.
cycle. Not even 8 races, 'cause he's been a menace. See, he's been a menace. The only one that wasn't his fault is when I think it was Richmond when Christopher Bell moved up.
Oh
Was it
yes,
Richmond?
yes, yes.
Yeah.
He tried to blame
Yes.
that one on Chastain.
He tried. See, it was a valiant effort, but Chastain, he was there, but he wasn't like right. It wasn't like his only option was either I get killed by Chastain or I go up
No, he
and kill
definitely left
whoever
some
up there.
space.
He left space, and I
But
feel like
I think this is going to be an interesting storyline now that Ross Chastain has to add Kyle Larson to the group of villains that he has,
And
and
Brennan
and
Poole.
Poole.
and
Brennan Poole
Brandon
wanted to
Poole,
beat
because
his
Brandon
ass.
Poole gave one of the best post or like post race interviews. Not even post race; it was like post clinic
Leaving the medical
interviews,
center.
leaving the medical center interviews of all time.
I want to see someone just walk up. And the thing is, I liked Ross Chastain because he drove the 42. I'm fickle like that.
Liked.
Yeah, I liked him. I liked him. You know, like, nah. I'm a motherfucker that like anybody. If you drove the 42 car at any point in any series, I'm fucks with you. Tyler Reddick, Brennan Poole, Kyle Larson, Ross Chastain was one of them. Now he done crossed the line.
Corey, you didn't use two more.
How many more I got left, Coach? How many more I got?
You got two.
I
You
got
got
two
two.
more left. More left. Cause he done took out the old CGR boys. The team is fucking dead. I got one more in me. I got one more in me. I got one more in me. So listen,
Absolute.
I'm gonna say this in closing remarks, big dog. Ross Chastain, I may be black, but I don't eat watermelons. So you don't. You, I'm gonna blame that asthma attack on you too, nigga.
All right.
Damn.
Hey, I find it kind of funny how Brendan Poole is going to be running this weekend for Rickware Racing again at Kansas, and
No way. Are we gonna get? Are we gonna
Brendan
get?
Poole is going to intentionally hold up Ross Chastain.
Is that how we get the Bubba Wallace win? The Bubba
Is it,
Wallace.
that's is how
No,
is are we
no.
just
Let
gonna
me paint it
repeat the
out for y'all. Let me paint it out for y'all. 3 laps to go. Bubba's a second and a half behind Ross Chastain. Ross is pulling, and just in the front, you just see Brennan Poole going a good 20 miles per hour off the pace. And Ross is like, "Oh, bet I can get away on the top side." Brennan Poole just cuts all the way to the top and just wipes out Ross.
He thought JJ
Ross
Yaley was still in
goes
the car. He thought JJ Yaley was in the 15. That was the problem.
ridiculous.
Bro's gonna have a 2021 Noah Gragson moment at Homestead with David Starr.
All time, all time. But we've talked about all the past. Now let's get to the future. It's time for predictions.
All right, buddy. Okay, here we go. We got F1. We're gonna do F1 first. Um, so our position we picked was sixth position for F1 at Miami. So it's gonna be a little interesting. I'll go first. I got Carlos Sainz.
I picked Lance Stroll, and I have no reasoning behind it, but Lance Stroll was the first ever person to put in a timed lap at the Miami circuit. Fun fact for y'all. I bet y'all didn't know that. I bet y'all didn't know that. Now you do.
Not many of us really know or care to know Lance Stroll.
Hey man, hey man, hey man, hey man, hey man, hey man.
We're not
Chill,
judging you,
chill
James.
out.
You like the biggest.
This is a
you
Lance Stroll free zone. You know where you don't judge.
Okay, okay.
like Planet Fitness.
Cory.
Okay, Cory, who did
I
you pick?
picked Chuck Leclerc. I picked Chuck Leclerc.
I can
Chuck.
respect it.
I feel like Ferrari's due for another subpar weekend after a slightly good one.
hmm Now on to truck,
Um.
where I absolutely fleeced y'all.
Oh my God,
Absolutely fleeced. I took
James, who
Kyle
did you pick?
Rowdy Bush.
Oh my
Rowdy
God.
Bush.
Well, I picked the second best guy possible. I picked Zane Smith.
I picked Nicholas Sanchez.
To be honest, though,
Very,
he is
very
good.
good pick. Very
To
good
be
pick.
honest, he is a
He's
sleeper pick. I
they've
think he won.
invited. See, Nick Sanchez has done so good. They invited him to KBM talent meeting because that too is just about another KBM truck.
What's it called? Uh, he almost won this race. I think he did win this race last year because Ty Gibbs didn't run this race last year. He ran it 2 years ago.
I don't remember.
I think he won this race last year. But I know Arca runs Kansas, and he did pretty good. I know he
That's
does
their
pretty good.
finale. That's their championship race. I know that. That's the Arca's finale.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So to be honest, that's not even a bad pick, Cory. For Cup, as you might have heard earlier, I picked Kyle Busch. So expect Kyle Busch to DNF. I'm sorry, Kyle Busch fans.
I chose Bubbers Wallace because he is the last race car driver to win at this track.
I think I picked Kyle Larson. Y'all can go to
You
our
pick
Instagram to see if I got a pick right or wrong. Go ahead and follow us as well.
Yeah, man. Make sure to check out that Instagram. Make sure to hit a follow, man. We got a big surprise at 100 followers. What else? That will do it for this episode of the podcast. Glad to be back. We'll be back on our usual
back in the
schedule again.
saddle, if you would.
We
Also,
were just
got
like I said, we were distraught. We were absolutely so emotionally destroyed by Jeb Burton
Mortified
winning.
after Jed Burton win. We had to call it off.
We had to put off a weekend, but we're back. Don't worry about it. Um, Other than that, let's close off this episode. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. Follow the TikTok, follow the Instagram. Hit that notification bell so then you know every time we upload. Make sure to subscribe. James, hit that outro music.
Fortnite balls all in your